There aren't many people that enjoy sanding, but it's a necessary part of woodwork, and the engineers at Festool know that, and so they've spent time designing and engineering sanders that are faster, more efficient, and less tiring so you can get the job done and get on with your project. And this is the family of ETS EC sanders. These two are the 6-inch models, or 150 millimeters. This one's the 5, and this one's the 3, and this one is the 5-inch, or 125 millimeter, 3. And the difference between the 3s and the 5s is the size of the sanding orbit. The 3s are a 3 millimeter and the 5 is a 5 millimeter. The 3s have a smaller orbit and so are better for finer finishes, and the 5 is a really good all-purpose sander. They all come with efficient brushless motors, allowing them to make a very low-profile, compact, and ergonomic sander. The on-off button is placed right here on the front, making it easy to click it on and off as you're sanding. And the variable speed control is right here on the side, for times when you're sanding certain materials that might heat up if you're using the sander at too high of a speed, in which case you can slow the sander down to keep the heat and friction down. Depending on the type of material and the profile of the material that you're sanding, there's 3 different densities of sanding pad: a soft, a medium, and a hard. And then if you want really soft pads for certain profiles you'll be sanding, there's 2 different thicknesses of foam interface pads. And to swap the pads out, you take your Allen key, loosen off the nut on the bottom, and then the pad will come off and you can put the new one on. Now these sanding pads have something called MJ2 technology, which stands for multi-jet stream 2, meaning that they're blowing air down certain channels at the same time that they're sucking it in other channels, giving you maximum dust extraction. Now if you look right around here on the outside, this is actually a sanding pad brake. And that does 2 things. Number 1, you know sometimes when you turn your sander on and it's above the workpiece and then it starts to spin at maximum revolutions and you go put it down on top of your workpiece, and because it's spinning so fast it digs down into your workpiece far more than you want and you have to try and level that out afterwards. The brake on the Festools will prevent it from going at max speed until it's under load, preventing you from digging in and damaging the top of your workpiece. And the second one is that the brake will quickly stop the pad from spinning once you're done sanding. And the last thing to mention is the built-in full-wave electronic system that does 4 things simultaneously. First, it monitors for the smooth control startup that I just mentioned. Second, it's constantly monitoring the speed, and it will sense the different loads while you're sanding and adjust the speed of the sander to the load so you always have a uniform speed, giving you a much more uniform sanding finish. Third, it senses for thermal overload, and if the motor ever gets too hot, it will shut down so it can cool down for a bit. And fourth, it has sensors that are always monitoring vibration, and if the vibrations get too high, it will reduce the speed of the motor to bring the vibrations back under control, again to give you a really nice finish.